What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to JohnnyKpicks. And in this video, I'll be going over my full card picks and predictions along with the bets that I'm looking at so far for UFC Seattle, Cejudo versus Song. Now, first things first, as always, please hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you are new or if you just haven't yet for whatever reason. Turn on those notifications so you know when I put out my videos. I usually do them on Sundays, but sometimes they might not be. Wednesday nights usually go live, but sometimes we don't. So definitely want to get notified whenever I do something. And leave some comments below how well you did at UFC Vegas 102, what fights you're looking forward to for UFC Seattle, anything like that. Helps the algorithm. And check out my Patreon, patreon.com/JohnnyKpicks. You will find my early UFC content each week, my picks, my bets, my cheat sheets. Also do other bets like NBA, football, footy. Not really so much hockey, but when the USA is playing Canada, you bet your butt I will be betting USA. So that was a great game last night. Anyways. But yeah, UFC Vegas 102 was last night, and it was a pretty decent card. Pretty fun finishes in some fights. Some fights were very close, but I won't go over too much of that to waste your time. But what I do want to go over is my results, how well I did. So did pretty good. I had 6 bets. Hit 4 of them. I thought Souza won that fight, but very close. No robbery. I'm not mad one way or another. It just didn't go my way this time, but I ended up winning 2.54 units. So that's a good start. Got to get out of this little hole that I always do or put myself in every year in the first month or two. Also, if you come to watch our Defend Your Unit show on Wednesday nights, we gave you this beer money parlay. Delgado KO, Petrosky moneyline, Sadikov plus 3.5 spread. That would have gave you a plus 1484 bet that you would have hit. By beer money, I throw a little bit of beer money on this bet every week, and guess what? I'm gonna have a lot of beer. So that's like I think this is the second time this has hit, maybe in the last 3 months. So I mean, you get enough beer money, and then finally when you're running out, you get more beer. So definitely check us out on Wednesday night so you can get that parlay. We also do the easy money parlay. That one hit too. Unfortunately, Gordon, the fight got canceled last minute. I kept the bet going though, just in case. I mean, it still hit. It didn't win you double your money, but it gave you a little bit of money. So I mean, it still hit pretty easily. Delgado and Zalal, those are 2 pretty simple wins, and Gordon I thought would have done the same thing. So it is what it is. And then also my picks, I went 10-2 on my picks. The only picks that I ended up missing were Rodriguez and Souza, but everything else I hit Sadikov dog, I hit Petrosky dog. So yeah, it was a good night overall. Like I said, good night for once. So no nothing to complain about here. So yeah, let's get into this UFC Seattle card. There's 12 fights, tons of changing fights around, cancellations, added fights last minute. So these lines are wild. I will let you know already. This is going to be a tough card to bet on. There are some pretty easy spots which we'll go over, but there's a lot of them that when you're at the lines, you're going to be, oh yeah, this guy should win, but he's too high. So we'll get into it though. Modestus, Bukauskas versus Rafael Cerqueira. Modestus is a solid striker. He stays at range pretty well. He's a little low volume at times. He does have pretty good takedown defense. He has been KO'd in like 4 of his losses, I believe. So he is a little chinny, but he's been coming away with, he's been getting some wins here. He's been showing off a little bit of his wrestling and grappling. So he's looking better. And you got Rafael, he made his UFC debut against Ebo, who's fighting later in this card. But that was only 3 months ago. Wow. But he's a good striker. He does have good power. Grappling is okay, but he's going to probably want to keep it on the feet. He's more so a striker. He likes to push forward. He's pretty patient. As you can see, he's a little hittable at times if he gets in the brawl. So, yeah, this might not go down the same way as the Ebo fight, because Ebo's more of a brawler. Modestus is more of a stay at range kind of guy, but he does have some power. But I do like Bukauskas to win this fight. I can see this going to decision. I can maybe see Modestas mixing some takedowns, but I think he'll be okay on the feet. I think he's going to be the more technical striker. Just got to worry about his chin. Maybe get, because sometimes when he backs up and he leaves his head open or leaves his head up to be hit. So that's the only thing that a little bit worries me a bit here. I don't think Rafael is all that great personally, even though he is 11-1. That's a little bit misleading. I'm gonna go with Modestas to win. I'm gonna say decision. I think this fight goes over 1.5. So maybe maybe look at the odds here. If you get a 1.5 line, I would like the over in this one, to be honest. So we'll see what happens. Next one, we got Nick Klein versus Mansour Abdul-Malik. And Nick Klein's making his UFC debut. He's a solid grappler. His striking is okay, if you want to say, not the greatest. He does have pretty good takedowns in wrestling. He's more of a grinder kind of guy. He likes to get his opponents down to the mat, wear on him a little bit, and then work for the submissions. Pretty good submissions as well. But then you got Abdul-Malik. He's a well-rounded guy. He's a good wrestler. He's been showing off a lot of his power on his feet lately. He has good takedown defense, and when he is on top, he's got good ground and pound too. So he's a powerful guy, good wrestling base, and a good striker, which I think he's going to have the better striking, more power on. He's going to be more dangerous. The only thing that might worry me here for Malik would be maybe Klein just gets the neck somehow when Malik's trying to wrestle. But other than that, I mean, better wrestler I think is Malik. The better striker I think is Malik. So give me Malik to win. I'm going to say he does find the finish though, maybe second round KO, maybe ground and pound, something like that, or maybe on the feet. He throws heat. So minus 560 again. It's going to be tough to bet. Put him in your parlays. But I think he wins. It's just, man, minus 560 for him. I wish it was like minus 300. Then I feel a little safer. But I do think he wins. Maybe look at the KO prop. Maybe look at the unders here. I think both guys are dangerous in their own way. But if I had to choose, like I said, Malik by KO is going to be the pick here. Next one we got going to be Ricky Simón versus Javid Basharat. And Ricky Simón, he's a very good wrestler. Hasn't really shown it a lot lately, but he is fighting pretty decent guys lately. Let's be honest. He does have power in his hands. His striking is okay. Good cardio. He's hittable on the feet. He can get rocked and dropped. But he's very tough. He's durable. He's not going to quit on you. The only thing with him though is like his game plan is weird sometimes, and in some of these fights, I'm like, what is going on? What are you doing? So I don't know if you could trust that, if you want to say, but we got Javid Basharat, who's a well-rounded fighter, very good grappling. He's got good wrestling and takedown, solid striking at range. I wouldn't say he's like a knockout kind of guy, but he's technical on the feet. Sometimes he's a little hittable. He doesn't really move his head, but he's very durable. He's got good cardio. Again, he's one of those fighters too, where in his last fight against Ayman Zahabi, he just looked weird out there. Weird game plan. He didn't really throw any volume. He thought he won that fight when clearly he didn't. So I don't know what he was thinking in that fight either. Maybe he learns his mistake here from the last fight. This is a tough one. I'm going to go with Javid though. I mean, I can't really trust him at minus 285 though. I'll be honest. If it was like minus 175, then we're talking. But I mean, Ricky Simón's no joke. It's just lately in his last 3 fights, I'll give him his last 2 fights. How about that? His last 2 fights, it's been a little weird. So I don't know if I can trust him too. There's a little red flags on both sides, but I trust in Javid a little bit more. I like his striking. I think he's more technical on the feet. And I don't know if Ricky's going to be able to get his wrestling going because Javid's pretty good grappler and he has good scrambles too. He can get back up and maybe he shoots a takedown and gets Ricky down. So we'll see what happens. But give me Javid to win by decision. I'll look at the over in this fight and see what it's set at. Maybe that's a better parlay piece if you want to. If it's like minus 240 or something, I'm sure it'll be at. But other than that, we'll see what happens. If it'll work. Next one, Nursultan Ruziboev versus Eric McConico. So yeah, Ruziboev, solid wrestler, good grappling, good submissions. Striking is pretty pretty okay, pretty good. He has that power in his hands. He's a big guy, 6'5", 76-inch reach. This fight is at middleweight, I believe. I think so. Yeah. So this fight's at middleweight. His last fight against for Nurzy, or I want to like mix his names together. I want to say Ruziboev, but Ruziboev, his last fight was at 170, but he's going back up to 185, which could be a good thing here. But yeah, another thing about this fight too. This fight just like was announced maybe like less than a week ago. So I don't know if both guys were training for a fight or what, but this wasn't like set up, like a month ago or something like that. This was set up like a week ago. So both guys might be coming in a little bit, maybe not training. Maybe they were training. I don't know. That's something to think about if you do want to bet this fight. But Eric is making his UFC debut. He's got solid grappling, okay striking. He is more so a grappler that does want to get this fight to the mat. He wants to grind you out on the mat, more position over submission, but he will go for the submission after a while. But he just wants to make sure that he's not going to let you back up first. He's not going to go for it. He has gotten some, KOs, rear naked chokes, so he is a good submissions, but I'm going to go with Ruziboev. I think he's got more experience, especially in the UFC. This Eric guy, he is 34 years old, only has about 12 fights in his career, so we'll see what happens here. If this is a tough card, like I said, the bet, and I think Ruziboev's line is about minus 300, so I mean, honestly, it's really not that bad for fighting. The only thing that worries me though is this short notice fight for both guys. So other than that, I do think Ruziboev wins. I'll say by KO. I think he finds a finish maybe later in the fight, maybe in the second round, third round, but we'll see what happens. Next one we got is going to be a fun one. Adam Fugitt versus Billy Ray Goff. And Fugitt's a solid grappler, pretty good striker too. He does have power in his hands. He can be a little hittable on the feet though, but he is pretty durable, even though he's been knocked out, I think, a couple times in the UFC. Well, he got submitted by Mike Malab. I think that was more so like a club and sub. And then Mike Morales was able to get him out of there. But we got Billy Goff though. He's a well-rounded guy too. Loves to push forward. He's very durable, good striking, good wrestling. He can mix in good cardio. Like I said, very durable. He just pushes forward. Doesn't care about getting hit, because he's going to give it back to you, and he's going to put a pace on you. He's going to wear you down. That's just his style. Fun fighter. The Trey Waters fight, I will say, was I thought Billy might have won that fight. Let's put it that way, but it is what it is. But I got to go Billy Goff here. I think he's going to push that pace. Maybe Fugitt does look good early, land some good shots, but Billy's not going to go away. I think as the fight goes on, Billy's going to wear on Fugitt, and I think maybe Billy finds a finish like in the second or third round. So give me Billy to win. I'm gonna say third round KO. I think he does get it in the third round. I think Fugitt's gonna tire out a little bit, and Billy's gonna push that pace and work the body a bit, and then that's gonna make Fugitt, I don't want to say quit, but it's gonna be a little easier KO after that. So give me Goff to win by KO third round, I think. Next one's gonna be fun for however long it lasts, probably. And wow, we got a lot of ads up here. Ian Cutelaba versus Ibo Aslan. And we got Cutelaba's a very aggressive fighter. He's got power in his hands, not very technical. Good takedowns, okay wrestling. Can't really hold his opponents down when he does get the takedown, so he uses a lot of energy to get takedowns, and then they just get back up. He does fade a little bit as the fight goes on. He's a little chinny at times, but he's very dangerous still. He doesn't really have the greatest submission defense, but I think he'll be okay in this fight, because I think Aslan, he's a powerful striker himself. He's not very super technical, but he lands bombs. He can wrestle if need be. Cardio does fade a little bit as the fight goes on with his volume, but he's always going to be there for a KO, always live. I got to go with Ibo. I don't think Ibo's all that great. I just trust him way more. Ian's very hard to trust. I know Ian recently just won in his last fight against Aslan, but very close fight. Aslan though, I think Ibo's a little bit better than that, and then Tanner Bozer's not that great. So give me Aslan to win. I'm gonna say second round KO, early second KO. Could this fight go to decision? Sure, but I don't think Ebo's been to decision too often. Yeah, actually, speaking of that, he's never been to decision. So you can maybe look at this fight, look at the unders, but under 1.5 could be a good look if it's close to a pick'em. I think that's a good look, but yeah, give me Ebo to win KO. Another fun one. It's going to be Andre Fili versus Milk Costa. And we got Fili, who is a well-rounded fighter. He does more so strike than grapple, but he can wrestle and grapple. He's got good scrambles on the mat, but he's got very good kickboxing, quick hands, good kicks. He's a little hittable though. He can be countered. Chin's a little dusty at times, but he is very dangerous still. And he's gonna push forward. He doesn't mind. He's not afraid to get hit, but 11 losses, and his last 2, he got dropped like 3 times in this Nathaniel Wood fight. Ige was able to get him out of there. So, but we got Costa here. He's a well-rounded guy himself. Solid striking. He's got good leg kicks, good kicks in general. He's got good grappling, good submissions, decent wrestling. He can be a little hittable too, a little chinny sometimes. He got KO'd by Steve Garcia, but Steve Garcia is a beast. Thiago Moises was able to get him out of there, but I think he took that fight on short notice to get in the UFC. So he's beating the guys that he should beat. But this is a step up for him a little bit. Fili, you could technically say this is a little step down in competition, I guess. But the Cub Swanson win, I thought Cub Swanson might have won that fight, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Costa. I know this is a pick'em. This is a close fight. I could see either guy winning. Though the thing that I worry about is Fili's durability. That's it. I think Costa has a little bit better durability. I think he's a little more dangerous on the mat with his grappling, and Costa can definitely put out Fili. Now, if he can't find the chin, I think Fili could win a decision here. I don't think he's going to be able to get Costa out, but I think Costa finds a finish one way or another. Now, he could possibly win a decision too if he drops Fili in one of the rounds and that wins in the round. So I'm going to go Costa to win. I'm going to say by I was thinking submission, but now I'm changing my mind. I'm going to go by KO. I think he finds the KO in the second round, maybe third, but I'm going to go second. It's going to be a fun fight. I can see it go either way, but just going with the gut with Costa, less damage. Fili's taking a lot of damage. 34 years old. I'm surprised he's still 34. So we'll see what happens though. Main card, we got Alonzo Menifield versus Julius Walker. This is another fight where they kind of made on short notice. So both guys are kind of coming in on short notice, if you want to say. Don't know if either guy has been training for a fight or not. So something to think about before you bet this fight. But Menifield's a powerful striker, not very technical, can be a little hittable sometimes. He can wrestle if need be. He does have very good takedown defense. His volume can slow down as the fight goes on, but he's always going to be live for a KO. And then we got Julius Walker, 25 years old, 6-0. Where I just lost. There he is. He's making his UFC debut. He does have solid striking and grappling. He's very athletic. He's very young into his career. I believe he just started in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look real quick. 2023. So yeah, he's just fighting. His last fight was pretty good. He fought a 20-11 guy, but he's fighting. I don't want to say low level, but not very great competition. This is a massive step up in competition for Julius. So I know he's young. He might have a little bit more athleticism, but Alonzo is no joke either. So give me Alonzo to win. I'm going to say he does find the KO in the first or second round. Could this fight go to decision? Sure. But Alonzo has experience. He's fought better competition. I know he's 37, but I think he'll be fine. He'll stuff the takedowns from Julius and on the feet. I just think Alonso's a little bit more dangerous. What worries me a little bit though, Walker can maybe land like something crazy, like a spinning elbow, back fist, or maybe like a jumping knee or something stupid like that. And that's something that Alonso won't see coming. But maybe Alonso lands that shot that Julius won't see coming either. So I'm gonna go with Menifield to win by KO. Fun fight here. Gene Silva versus Melsik Baghdasaryan. And Silva's a powerful striker. He's well rounded though, but he does like to stay on the feet. He's got good takedown defense, good volume. He likes to push forward. He does have good grappling, good submissions if he wants to take the fight to the mat. I feel like he is always the fighter that wherever he wants to keep the fight, he'll keep it there. If he wants it on the mat, he'll take it to the mat. The one thing that does bug the crap out of me with him though is he always high fives his opponent 90 times. So other than that, I think he's a very good fighter. But we got Baghdasaryan though. He's a very good striker, good kickboxer. He's got very good kicks. He throws tons of volume on the feet. He likes to push forward himself. His takedown defense though is just okay. If he does get taken down, we've seen him kind of not really know what to do all that well. So to me, I think Silva has a very, very easy path to victory here, whether he takes it or not, and that's to get this fight to the mat and work his grappling. And I think he can find a sub pretty easily. Will Gene want to maybe test his striking out early? I bet you he probably wants to and will. But I think eventually he'll shoot a takedown. I think he'll get the takedown, and I think you're going to see a clear discrepancy in the grappling, and Silva should win. I'm going to say Silva wins by second round submission. Unless he just wants to hand tap Melsik for 3 rounds and win that way, if you want to say, because he can win a decision. I think he'll land the better shots, more powerful shots anyways, and get some takedowns, get some control time too, blah, blah, blah. So Silva wins. I'm going to say second round sub. I'm going to look at that prop and see what it's at. It's hard to bet minus 575 on Silva. I think he does win, but Melsik's not a bum. Like, he is not a bum at all, especially if it's going to be on the feet. It'll be a closer fight than that line says. So when it won't be close though if Silva gets his fight to the mat. So something to think about. Next one here, we got Rob Font versus Gene Matsumoto, and just so you guys know, Gene is taking this fight on maybe a week and a half short notice. I forgot who Font was supposed to fight. But Font is a good boxer. He's got a very good jab. He likes to push forward. He's really not a knockout kind of guy. More like death by a thousand cuts. He looked very good against Kyler Phillips in his last fight. Kind of eye-opening, if you want to say a little bit. His takedown defense, though, isn't the greatest. He does have good submission defense, and he knows what to do, but he doesn't have really the greatest get-up game either. So if you do take him down, he kind of stays down there. But he is very durable too. And Matsumoto, he's a well-rounded fighter. He's got good grappling, good wrestling, good striking. He's power in his hands. Durable himself. He's a little hittable sometimes too. I think the jab is going to maybe play a little bit of a role here for Font. Might help him out a lot, but I think where Gene can excel is definitely getting this fight to the mat, which I do think he can. My problem is he is taking this fight on short notice. I don't know what his gas tank's going to be after round 2. If this fight does get into round 2, I'm going to guess it will. So I think Font could potentially win round 3 after he's down 2 rounds, kind of like a Calvin Kattar situation in UFC Vegas 102. Zalal looked like a world beater in rounds 1 and 2, and then he kind of, I don't want to say he was gassed, but he did look a little more tired, and Kattar had to push it to maybe get a finish. And I can kind of see the same thing happening with Gene winning a decision, but 29-28 when Rob Font wins round 3. So I don't know what the line is for this one offhand, but if Font is a underdog, maybe look at the plus 3.5 spread. I think he can win 1 round, especially round 3. But I'm going to go with Gene Matsumoto as my pick. I'm going to say he wins by decision. The sub prop could be something to look at too. I don't think he KOs Font. I'd be shocked, but definitely look at the sub and decision prop. Maybe that'll be a good look too. I don't know what the line is. It doesn't say offhand. So if I had to guess, I would say maybe Font is a slight favorite, but Gene Matsumoto is pretty good. 25 years old. He's going to be younger. He's very dangerous. So we'll see. This is going to be a good one. So give me Gene Matsumoto to win. I'm going to say by decision. Co-main, we got Brendan Allen versus Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. And Allen's well-rounded guy, more so a grappler. Definitely has good takedowns early, let's put it that way. Striking is okay, does have power, doesn't really move his head too much, though he's very hittable. We've seen in his last fight against Imavov, he kind of gassed out after a round and a half, and he just lost by decision. Which wasn't a very good look, actually. He gassed out way too early. And that's not a good look when you're fighting someone like Anthony Hernandez, who's a very good grappler himself, very good submissions, good takedowns. His cardio is elite. He is the middleweight Marab, if you want to say. He will grind you out until you basically pass out. And he has 5-round cardio, maybe 10-round cardio. His striking isn't the greatest. He can be hurt on the feet. But when he gets up to you and he's going to try to chain wrestle you, that it's pretty much going to be game over after that. And I can kind of see something along those lines happening. Maybe Allen does land some good shots early. Fluffy's going to be probably shooting as soon as he can to make this fight get to the mat. And I think just Fluffy is going to be the better, quicker grappler. And he's going to have the better cardio to do it. So Fluffy by decision, Fluffy by sub. I think that those are good plays. I don't know if it's going to be set at 1.5 or 2.5. I'm going to guess 2.5, but if it's 1.5, maybe look at the over. If it's 2.5, maybe look at the under, because I can see Fluffy getting like a second or third round submission late on Brendan Allen when he kind of gasses out and maybe kind of gives up a little bit. So pretty confident in this pick, though. Anthony Hernandez is the play. And then we got the main event, Henry Cejudo versus Yadong Song. And we got Henry Cejudo coming back. He's a very good wrestler. He's got very good takedowns, solid striking on the feet. He did take a little time away, but in his last 2 fights, he did lose to Aljo, which was a very, very close fight. Could have went either way. Then he kind of lost to Marab, which was a pretty close fight as well. But yeah, he always has good game plans. He's always tough. He's always durable. Good cardio for 5 rounds. This is going to be a 5-round fight. That does worry me a little bit. But then you got Yadong Song. He is a very good striker. He's got good power, good boxing. He's very quick on his feet. He can be a little hittable at times, but he's very durable. Takedown defense is pretty good. He can mix in some wrestling here and there, but I don't think he's going to for this one. Obviously, he probably should keep it on the feet. I'm going to go with Yadong Song here. I'm not super confident, though, honestly. I think Henry Cejudo has a game plan or has the style to beat Yadong, and that's just to wrestle him, wear him out a little bit early on. I think he's got a little bit better cardio, Cejudo. But Yadong Song's younger. Obviously, he's going to be about 11 years younger. He's very dangerous. But I think this fight goes to decision. I think it's going to be close. But I think Song's going to edge it out ever so slightly. Maybe he wins rounds like 1, 2, and 4, or 1, 2, or 1, 3, and 4. And Cejudo wins like the 5th round for sure. And maybe another one. It's going to be super close, I think. Not very confident on the line either. Maybe look at Cejudo plus 5.5 spread. And if you have the alternate spread, maybe look at plus 9.5. I don't think there's going to be a finish. So give me Yadong Song, though. I'm going to say by decision. I know it's weird, but I think he just edges it out. Doesn't look that great in the later fight, but he's going to look good early on. So we'll see what happens. But all right, guys, that is it for those are my picks and predictions for UFC Seattle. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And let's see. Wednesday night will be Defend Your Units. We're going to have special guest Effie from Any Action Sportscast on, so definitely check us out then. We'll be doing the easy money and beer money parlays, so if you want to win some easy or beer money parlays, come on by and see what we got. And but yeah, I think that's all I got for you. So definitely good luck on your picks. Good luck on your bets. And until next time, happy fight night.